What up, good people? What up, good people? Welcome to the ArtBeat, where we discuss all things art, which we believe is the heartbeat of our community. I am your host, Cliff Latham, and I got my co-host with me. I got my main man, Graylin Early.
What's
And
happening?
listen, y'all, we are about to wrap up this 2025 season of the Art Beat. I hope you guys have enjoyed our conversations about the arts, performing arts, what all
All
yeah, martial arts,
martial
all
arts.
arts, everything arts. And so this year, or rather this episode, what we want to just kind of do is talk about something that I believe all of us deal with, right? And so today we're going to talk about the art. So me, the art start.
All right,
I
sorry.
would say another one, but that'll probably be a little, right? We're going to talk about the art of starting over, right? Because we're at the end of the year. We're in the last month. And the reality of it is a lot of you all still have a long to-do list for 2025. And guess what? Can I be honest with you? Most of you are not going to complete it before January, right? So these things that you started off in January saying that you wanted to do, that you wanted to accomplish, that you wanted to knock off your to-do list that you carried over from
Right.
2024, right? A lot of that you're not going to be able to complete, but we want to talk about the art of starting over because some people feel like, well, if I didn't do it, let me just toss this aside. Some things you do need to toss aside. You need to do an
Absolutely.
evaluation. You need to do an assessment of what's on that list and whether this
Hmm.
really makes sense in this season.
Yes.
Because certain things, they might have been a good idea for 2019, and it's just
No.
it ain't gonna work no more, right?
No.
But when we talk about the art of starting over, we do this assessment, we do this rundown of what's on this list. Let me pick out a couple of things and let me start over. Let me regroup. Let me recalibrate. Let me reset my mindset, my goals, my energies, and my efforts, my teams, my surrounding. We were just talking about, and we're gonna give y'all a real good tip that Graylin and I were just talking about. I'm the type of person who typically does not say no when people ask me for help.
Same.
Right.
Same.
And we were kind of talking about a lot of time we use our energy and our effort to help people complete things. And then we still have this long list of things that we need to accomplish at the end of the year. And because I'm a creative. I'm a
Hmm.
goal-oriented person. Graylin, I think you said sometimes the people you helping, you are more excited and see more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it becomes a point where you get to be more excited off of their vision, and you're ready to go, and you're
Mhm.
pumped, and only thing left is to just say yes,
Yep.
and you end up saying yes, and
Yep.
to your point, you end up losing out on the things that you want to complete. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to
Yep.
help others, you know, but you got to learn to say no sometimes so that you can still get things accomplished that you want. So,
Well, how about like this? I think sometimes we usually feel guilty about saying no, but we have to realize that in order to say yes to ourselves in some areas, I'm gonna have to say no to somebody else.
yes.
Doesn't mean that I don't like you, don't mean I don't believe in what you got going on, don't believe it's not a good idea. But for in order for me to knock down my to-do list,
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to say no to something. Right. And I think we were talking about that being a skill that has to be developed, especially for a person like me. It's like something that I have to really work on how to say no because I don't think I'm a people pleaser, but I don't like to disappoint people.
Correct.
Right. And I think this stems from me being the type of person that when I want to do something, I need help. When people let me down, when people don't come through, it just makes me more of that person. I don't want to be that person that lets somebody down after I commit, but I guess I can keep myself out of that position if I don't commit to everything.
Yes.
All
And,
right.
and you think about it, and we people of faith.
Yep.
So, we know our gifts come from somewhere else,
Definitely.
and we supposed to share our gifts. And
Definitely.
so with that, and I know I tend to lead with that.
Mm-hmm.
I have this gift, and I'm going to share it, and I want to help people, but also it's not really helping me. Not saying that sharing my gifts with others is not helping myself, but I do want to get some things accomplished as much as I want to help others with my gift. So
I think you took it another way, and I like that way, so I'm gonna go with it, right? Because I think this is the thing. What you just said is probably the most important part of developing your no. How can I say yes to all of these things and exhaust myself and then stand before and not get my servant well done because I didn't fulfill the assignments that were given to me,
ooh,
because I'm saying I was helping everybody else walk in their destiny, walk in their goals, and walk in what they, yeah, we call to help, but I'm trying to get that well done when I stand
correct.
before the Lord, right? All right, man. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the art of restarting, or the art of starting over.
Now, is it a setback though?
What?
Starting over? Because some people may think like, hey, it's a setback. Like, man, I gotta restart over. But
I guess you can look like this. Maybe it's a setback for a setup,
ooh,
right? So you more of a sports guy than I am, right? But I think some things that you're doing, in order to go forward, you have to go back to gain the momentum, right? And so if you're going backwards for momentum, if you're going backwards to pick up nuggets or lessons that you learn in the journey that will help you propel forward, no, it's not a setback.
so it is that momentum piece. Is that I like that because sometimes it's like a setback. You set back, but you ain't pick up nothing. You just back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's just called being lazy. Nah. If I'm going back, if I look at it a setback, I'm gonna look at this as an opportunity for evaluation and for me to look around and say, okay, I did not accomplish X, Y, or Z because of this last time, but I set back, or step back rather, to say, how can I move differently? Where can I say no in some other areas? Where can I, use my time, my talent, my resources, to better meet that need next time? So I would say that a setback is only a setup.
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's
like
that's how I'm gonna look at it. Let me talk to something too, because a lot of times pride will rob you of the opportunity to reposition or pivot or re-strategize, right? Because often when we don't complete a thing, we look at that as failure. Right? When certain things just take a little bit longer to get established, to do the groundwork, to do the leg work, to build the foundational components that's going to allow what you're trying to produce to stand, right? So this is this thing you got to understand. Shame will whisper in your ear and tell you because you did not, you cannot. That's not the truth. Right? Just because I did not in this season does not mean that the next season won't present me with the success that I need to complete. And so make sure that you guys don't get caught up in shame. It's a cousin of pride, right? Because you are so worried about what people will think, what people will say. The reality of it is the people who we know or deem successful, they have failed so many more times than the success that we see.
Absolutely.
And so what happens is those of us who just see the highlight reels, we just see the billboard, or we just see that thing that's being displayed or marketed as success, we don't understand the failures. We don't understand the restarting. We don't understand how many times they had to reset and pivot to get where they are. So, my thing is, don't allow shame and guilt of a thing not being complete to rob you of the energy that you need to really move forward and persevere towards completion.
Yeah. You said it all in
that. I feel real preachery this morning.
Look,
I do. Preachery. That's my new word, y'all.
But so, that shame will stifle your progression and stifle what you're trying to complete. You just got to know that, hey, look, today, or yesterday, I was unable to complete it, but today I have another opportunity to.
Yep.
So look at it from a standpoint of not a setback, but like you said, moving forward, finding that momentum to help take them to completion, So afterwards, so the shame shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
It might be, it
Yep.
might creep in there. Sometimes I've experienced that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's
It's
real,
like,
bro.
oh man,
Yeah.
and you get stuck,
Yep.
in that for a little bit.
Yeah.
But they gotta find their way out of that.
I think that's the thing. Like you said, don't get stuck there. Shame is a real emotion, right? And you can't avoid that, right? We live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's ice outside. If I'm outside and we on this main street, if I slip and fall, I'm gonna be shameful. But I'm not just fixing to lay there on the
Oh.
ground. I'm gonna get up because I gotta keep walking to my destination, knowing that I still have to travel on this ice, this thing that is slippery, or in this snow, this thing that is cold, or this thing that seems like an enemy. Because what happens is, if I fall on this ice, now we have a relationship. It becomes an enemy. It becomes a source of fear. It becomes a something, right? And so the same thing is with those things that has been on your to-do list, those things that you may not have completed last year. The reality of it is that defeat becomes an enemy of sort.
Yeah.
But if you are a fighter, I don't look at this thing that's going to keep on winning. It may win a round, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't going to win the fight.
Yep.
It may win a battle, but it won't win the war. It won't win the war, right? And so what we got to do is make sure that we develop the art, the skill, the mindset, the heart posture that starting over it's not a shame. It's not a sentence to shame.
Yeah.
It's not a sentence to shame. I want to talk about this word procrastination. Right? This is a word that has taunted me for years, right? Because I have been the person who has started so many things, and there are so many things that I have not finished. But then I had to realize, Cliff, there are so many things that you did finish. It's just you dream a lot. You have a lot that you want to do, right? And so what happens to me sometimes is I will start a thing, and in the middle of that thing, I'll get an idea of a better thing that I want to do, right? Or someone comes to me with an idea that I want to invest in, that I want to see them do. And so this thing of procrastination has to be something that I think that we aggressively deal with if we're going to develop this art and this skill of starting over. Because what happens is starting over from the same place year after year after year because of procrastination will keep you from reaching your destination.
Oh, for sure.
Right? It will rob you of progress if you stay in the process of procrastination, right? If you're always overanalyzing, we do music. Let me cut this hi-hat up. Oh man, the strings sound good, but I need to add a little cello. I need something. And so what happens is trying to chase perfection often leads to procrastination.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so for those of you who have goals and things that you want to accomplish and achieve, don't allow procrastination, which is a spirit. I know this is the art show, but I already told you what it is. We have to actively engage in warfare to defeat that. And you defeat procrastination by accomplishing small tasks. Right. And so there are sometimes we want to do the biggest thing. We want to do this thing that's so large. And the reality of it is, man, let's start small and let's win and build that momentum. It's all going back to the same thing. I think you and I talked about before we started the pod that if there's a person like me who has a heart to help people complete, and a person like you who has a heart to help people to complete, what we do is we exhaust our energy trying to help people. But what we need to do is say, you know what? This year, I got about 4 guys that are visionaries that are amazing at helping people complete, but they don't complete their things. Listen, in January, all 4 of us, all 5 of us, we gonna get Graylin's thing done. Then in February, we gonna get Cliff things done. And then in March, and then so what happens is because your ability to see and be visionary, we can knock off one of my big things.
Yes.
And so I don't have to keep carrying big things year after year because I'm building a community of camaraderie of us that are willing to work together and help each other accomplish, which I believe will help us all kind of deal with procrastination. Because the reality is, if you and I working on something, I'm going to pick up something from you that causes me to be more productive. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. And one thing I would like to touch on with what you said, starting small.
yep,
So in procrastination, um, and to your end goal, to that big thing that you want to accomplish,
yeah,
set little milestones. And that's what I've been focusing a lot
got you.
on the small things. Okay, yeah, I want to do a project, but you ain't started the first song yet. You know what I mean?
Yep, 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 yep.
And so start the first song, then the second, keep building to that project,
Yeah,
and just over time, then you will complete it, whether it's in that year or
yep,
maybe even 2 years,
yep.
but having those small little goals and those milestones to be like, yes. And when you reach that, there is that gratification that you get to say, "Ooh, I did that.
Yeah,
Now I still got more energy
yep.
to continue on that journey, so that you don't get stuck in that procrastination."
I like that. Before we move on, let me ask you, while we still in this procrastination thing, how important is accountability in that, right?
Ooh,
Because I think procrastination grows, it gains strength, it gains momentum and weight to hold you there when you don't have the accountability in place for those checks and those balances, and for those people that will help you celebrate those milestones. What's your thought on that, man?
ooh, accountability is huge. You've got to be, if you can't self, uh, you know,
Account.
account, you need someone to make sure of that.
Yeah,
And we produce a lot of different things, and we probably more or less executive produce a lot of
yeah,
things.
yeah.
And so, but who is helping us executive produce our things goes
Exactly.
back to that collaboration
Yep,
model you
yep.
just said. And so we need accountability. You just say, "Hey, Graylin, did you get that done?"
Yeah,
Actually, I'm gonna come over and help you get that done.
exactly. Bro, that's the missing link. I really think they just eavesdropping on the conversation of completion for
Yes.
some things for us, right? And so even when we talk about starting over, I think we are sharing some things that will be implemented into our processes for next year, that will lead us to success, right? And so that we have a smaller to-do list at the end when December comes next year. And man, I'm saying this on the pod. Let's hold each other to that, man.
Absolutely.
I just, I think, I thank God for even just that idea, man. And we talk about collaboration all the time, but I don't think sometimes we go into the intricacies, into the nuts and bolts of what it looks like of saying, hey, man, I'm gonna share my goals. Because the reality of it is, when you're a person like me or you're a person like you, a lot of times we don't want to share our goals.
Right.
Right. But think
Right.
about this,
Yeah.
because we are so guarded, because we don't want somebody to get our idea. We don't want somebody to step in this lane that we'll feel like we're creating. Man, bro, it never happens. We never build that road. It ain't no
Yes.
lane for nobody to step in, because the road ain't never built. Because it's just something that's on a sticky note. It's just something that's in a voice memo.
Yes.
And so what we've got to do is know that what God has for me is for me. But in order for me to accomplish, man, there's power in partnership.
Oh, yes.
There is something about collaboration that leads to completion that doing it singularly probably won't allow you to do. And so, man, this is good stuff. I'm super excited right now. And so that I think that's a way to really deal with procrastination, is collaboration. Because then with collaboration comes accountability.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that, man. Boy, we need to put a little cash app on the.
I
on
know.
the pod
Cat-
today, man. Hey, we need a little cash app on today, man.
We dropping them.
Yeah, bro. What you got, man? What you got?
The idea of, you're not starting over from scratch.
Exactly.
You're starting from experience.
Yeah.
And looking at that is all the experiences that you accumulated over that year. And yes, you didn't finish it. So I've learned, man, it was that procrastination.
Yeah.
I learned I did not collaborate with the people that I needed to. Financially, especially when you're dealing with artists, Um, I always say, what's your personal finance? That's what you're using to help
Yep.
fund your music. And so, did you put enough back? Did you
Yep.
save the resources that
That you
you
manage
need?
well. Yeah.
You know, and so the experience of doing it, of whether it's the successes you have
Yeah.
and the failures
Yeah.
that you have, that experience, that knowledge
Yeah.
is crucial to moving forward out of the state of thinking that it's a setback or starting over. When you start over, that's what you taking into that next season. And
Mm.
that's what matters the most, is the lessons that you learn from it.
So this is the thing. When you say that, what came to my mind? It was a good alliteration too, so I can't remember what it was. But basically, without evaluation, uh, you will continue in procrastination, right? If you don't step back, like we said, sit back or step back to really look at what worked, what didn't, right? Because I really don't believe in losses. I believe in lessons,
Correct.
right? And so when we're talking about not starting from scratch, if you don't keep record, you are starting from scratch. So if we go into 2026 and we have not had any documentation of what worked, what didn't, guess what? You are starting from scratch. But when you have that documentation of implementation, what worked, what didn't, of everything that kind of keep those records, then I think then you're not starting over from scratch.
Correct.
Because you have looked back and seen again
That experience.
Yeah, man. And so I don't know. I don't know who that's for. That's for me.
I think it's for all of
Yeah,
us.
yeah. I think it's for me that we have to do a better job of documenting. Because sometimes we're just so busy doing that we're not documenting. And so what happens is that's what leads to so much exhaustion and incompletion, because we keep repeating processes that are ineffective because we did not write or we did not document how we did this thing the last time.
Yes.
And so I mean that's in parenting.
Yes.
I got 5 kids, right? And it would be a shame for me to make the same mistakes that I made with the first one, because as parents, we make mistakes.
Oh, absolutely.
So it would be a shame for me to make the same mistakes on child 5 as I did in child 1. I'm 20 years into my marriage. If I'm making the same mistakes in year 20 that I was in year 2, then something is wrong, because I'm not documenting, I'm not evaluating, I'm not doing an honest assessment of how I'm moving, how I'm doing, right? And this is an art form. It really is, man. Like, it's strategic. It's strategy that's required to be able to do this, so that you are willing to move forward and not make those same failures that you had last time. Yeah, man. I like that, bro. Not starting over, but we are taking the opportunity to start from our place of experience. Let me see. Let's go right here. And let's talk about fear. Right. I think fear and procrastinations I think they're first cousins. Right. I think fear causes procrastination.
Yes.
Right. And so I don't know if I talked about this on one of our previous pods, but sometimes there is the fear of failure, and then sometimes there's the fear of success.
Ooh.
Right. I have to be honest, man. I've really dealt with the fear of success in some areas. Like, man, I'm scared to put that out because I don't know what type of attention and pressure and light. A lot of people want to be in the light, but the light don't just show your good side.
It shows your bad side.
It shows everything, right? And so I guess maybe I don't know why I'm doing, but this is kind of just speaking from a more spiritual perspective, right? God hasn't given us a spirit of fear. Fear doesn't come from God. Fear is an enemy of what God has placed inside of you, that your purpose can be fulfilled, but fear will come to attack it and try to slow you down. And so what I do understand is sometimes when we deal with fear, we are scared to pivot. We're scared to try something new. And so that again keeps us in this same place of repeating cycles of unsuccessful habits and things that are not really gonna yield the results that we're trying to
Yeah.
do because we're scared to try something else. Like there are so many new tools and so many new opportunities and so many new opportunities for collaboration and thing. And guess what? Some of you are not going to be able to complete what you're trying to do because you keep trying to do it the same way. You're fearful of a new way. You're fearful of change. You're fearful of a new process or a new outlet or outlook of what you're doing. And that will rob you.
So speaking of
Yeah.
tools and other things,
Yeah.
we into music, and so there's the fear of AI
Yeah.
in music right now,
Yeah.
right? And uh, I would say I'm an avid user of AI
Yeah.
in all aspects of my life, whether
Gotcha.
it's professionally, whether it's in music,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
It has brought another sense of productivity,
Yeah.
right? So talking about procrastination, it has really lifted because I can get things done
Yeah.
faster and more efficient,
Faster and better.
right? So, but that fear of people using AI
Yeah.
has really, I think, is really going to keep people in that paralysis stage
Yeah.
of just right where they are and what they've been doing, and not push the needle to where music and arts and everything
Yeah.
can go.
Yeah. You can't be afraid of it. First of all, because you will live in fear for the rest of your life because it ain't going nowhere.
It's here.
It's here. It's here to stay. And you have to I believe with anything, you use it wisely.
Yes.
Right? And you use it with integrity, right? And so matter of fact, it was our last ArtBeat where you shared with me about some of the tools you were using. And boy, oh boy, we gonna talk after this,
Yes.
right? And so, but of course, when you start getting into some of those resources and some of those tools, and you start getting in the threads and the comments, and you hear the fear mongering, you
yeah.
hear the fear talking, and the reality of it is, if you're gonna, not even if you're gonna start over, if you're gonna start in 2025, 2026, and beyond, you're gonna have to be willing to embrace things that may not be familiar, things that may not be comfortable, and things that other people may have a problem or an issue with. This is about accomplishment. This is about meeting goals. This is about completion. This is about making sure, again, I look at all of this as helping or tools that will assist me in getting my well done, my good and faithful servant.
Yes.
That's my look on it.
Period.
Right? And so I think we cannot get stuck in fear, but be willing to embrace the things that are here to help us to complete, to help us start over with a more polished way of doing things, an easier way of doing things, right? So, what my dad always say, work smart, not hard. Right?
Right.
And so that I think that's something we can do. Let's wrap up with this last one, man. And this is really, I just want to share this with everybody that if you are still breathing, if you still have breath in your body, you have an opportunity to start over, to complete, to excel, to finish, right? There's a scripture in the Bible says that the race is not given to the swift nor the battle to the strong, but the one that endures to the end. Endure, right? There's nothing wrong with starting fresh, with starting over, right? His mercies are renewed morning by morning. So he gives us grace to do it again, to complete, to walk in our destiny. It's never too late. You're never too old. Now, I will say something this when we talk about procrastination. Now, you tell us about what you do, man. You teach or you are an instructor of what? Wrestling. Now, I would imagine it's some young guns that if you could talk to them, you would tell them well, they're in their developmental stage, but once you get maybe to that collegiate level, hey man, you're not gonna be able to do this in 10 years
Oh
with
yeah.
the same way. You may still have the knowledge and the understanding of how to do it, but your strength may not be the same. And so, what we're saying in the art of starting over, we don't want to have to keep starting over. But as we go into the close of this year, we want to encourage you that if you need to start over or to start again, use some of the things that we've said on today that will help you start and be on a path to success. Because the reality of it is, and I'm talking to Cliff Latham right now, you just get the opportunity to hear me talk. There are some things that I had the strength, the momentum to do 10 years ago that are still on my list, and these bones don't necessarily cooperate. This voice doesn't necessarily cooperate the same way that it would have had I had better plans, better means to complete and see a thing through. So don't waste time, guys. Time is the most precious gift that we have. Man, that's it, man.
Yeah.
That's all we got for you. You got anything else, man?
No, I think it's never, like you said, it's never too late. You get a refresh every day
Yeah.
by God's grace, and just think smart little goals along the way will
Yeah.
help you accomplish, and just continue to be focused and know your purpose
Yeah.
of why you are doing what you're doing and trying to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish.
I like that. Let's go there. As we go into 2026, spend the rest of this year. Listen, a lot of that stuff, just to be real, you're not gonna finish it before the year. But what you can do is what Graylin said. Take this time to focus on what is my purpose? What is it that I am to accomplish in this upcoming year? Right? And write out some plans, write out some goals, seek some wisdom from maybe some people who have already done what you're trying to do. Maybe you are gifted to the point where you're trying to do something that has never been done before. I doubt it. There is somebody who's done it in some type of way. Find that person. You may have a different approach or a different perspective or a way to do it, and that's unique and that's awesome, right? I'm not trying to speak down on your creativity, but find somebody who's already done it, who's already paved the way, and learn from them. Lock in your purpose. And so when we hit this next year, and you can start before the new year. Now, I'm not saying you got to wait to January, because everybody's not promised January, right? But really take some time to say, what am I really about to do? And then build out a game plan, build out some structure that will help you, using some of the things that Graylin and I talked about today that'll help you accomplish those goals. I'm gonna leave you with this last question. What is something that you stopped that you need to start back again this next year? This is the art of how to start over, to start again. If you're breathing, if you're still alive, there's still an opportunity for you to do. All right, this has been the ArtBeat, where we discuss all things art, which we believe is the heartbeat of our community. Happy 2026, y'all. We'll see y'all in 2026. You all be blessed. Love you guys. Peace.